Yo, my bad, man. I'm at this outside event, and it's dumb, crazy, loud. So what's good? What's cracking like in your way?
Oh man, you at an event. I'm inside, laid back. I'm just trying to finish up some last things. Sound like you had a damn concert.
I'm at. You ever heard of Odd Night at the Altry?
No.
Yeah,
It literally sounds like a Tucson commercial.
it does, but it's closer to the area that I'm in, like closer to Los Feliz. It's closer. It's across the street from the zoo. I've never been to the zoo, but it's across the street from the zoo. So came out here to kick
Hey,
it.
tell them a little. They might be scaring the animals across the street.
You said what? Wait, your phone is either your phone breaking up or my phone breaking up.
Nah, that's all good. I'm making bad jokes. Don't worry.
Oh, good, oh, good. So, how's Friday been thus far? How's your Friday been? Did you roll out of bed and do the phone situation, or how did it work?
We still gotta work on that whole no grabbing the phone first thing in the morning thing, because that's just not gonna happen.
I would say start off with. I was thinking about it this morning when I did it, and it was kind of tough to be honest when I did it this morning. But if you start off with like 5 minutes instead of like 30 minutes, like start off slow and work your way up, like crawl before you walk type situation, it might work out better.
We all see tomorrow will be the day. It's a Saturday. Less likely for me to have dire emergencies to try and respond to.
I think Saturday is a little bit slower than anything anyway.
If anybody's listening, you feel free to request. I know Compound isn't here, and Dre's basically halfway visiting him at a at a whatever thon. But yeah, just kicking it Friday vibes.
Yeah, my wife made me come. She drugged me out the house. So this is what I'm on tonight. It's not as wild as the EDC with Compound, but this is as far as I can get as a dad. And so we can do some favors and do the usual algorithm feeding materials with retweets and likes. And I wonder if that really even worked, bro. I just hear everybody say it all the time, so I just repeat it like monkey see, monkey do. But I wonder if it really worked.
No, I think it does. But yeah, I see we got Rose up here with us. What's going on, Rose?
Happy Friday. I was just refereeing a kid fight, so fun is never doesn't stop, you know? Oh, happy Friday though. Hope you guys are doing well. I finished my work just like on the dot at 5 p.m. and just doing some Genesis work too. One work flows into the next. And then I always try to do a painting or two when I'm on bad take spaces. So I'm always in my happy zone when I'm on bad take because I get to paint as well.
So you're actually painting in real time while
Yeah,
you're on Space?
yeah. And then when I post a tweet or whatever, usually it's a work in progress piece that I'm doing while I'm talking to everybody and listening. And then I usually do like, I think 10 to 20 like layers of paint. So usually I tweet out like my second or third layer. And I don't know if I had told you guys, but I actually don't know what I'm going to paint when I sit down to paint. I just like start dabbling and applying, and I choose colors, and sometimes I don't like it, and I'm like, oh, I'll go back to it another day, and I come back to touch up. So it's just a fun process. Like every time I paint, I get a little bit more confident in I guess this feeling of like I get to paint, whatever I want, no judgment. I used to be really harsh on myself, so I think when I'm listening to the fam here helps me like loosen up, honestly. And then a little bit of wine doesn't hurt. So just just to unwind and recharge. I think the days where I was like working like 12, 13 hours a day, I was like so unhappy because I could not squeeze in any painting. But yeah, I feel like it's, I realize that I do a lot for others. And so when I paint, it's actually a moment just for me to do something for myself. So that's why I feel so eager to like get it in now because it feeds the soul. And I usually tell my family, I'm like, yeah, I love it so much because I feel like it's a little bit of my heart and soul on a page, on a piece of paper over time. So it's cool. I've only been painting like this much since like August, really. I mean, I've been painting kind of all my life, but I do crafts. So I think I just dismissed it for so long until August and Web3 and just other communities kind of encouraging each other just to create. So that's why I love Artifact and the clones because there's a spectrum of us who dabble in a variety of ways of creativity, and it doesn't have to be one way or another. It could be just our own way of dabbling, if you will, and then all of a sudden becomes something like super beautiful. But I'm excited. I think I'm close to having my final piece. I was trying to paint 3 to 5 pieces to apply to super rare. They require 3 to 5 unminted pieces for consideration. So I've been working towards it for about 2 months, but really thinking about doing it. Just having the confidence to just do it, right? I guess it doesn't hurt to apply, just like for artifact creators. I did it on a whim because I read the application and it said, yep, if you're any of these, please apply and try. And then, yeah, it's just validating to get accepted into artifact creators. So trying to use that momentum to do that with super rare. Like part of me thought, how dare I think I could apply to super rare? And then over time, I just thought, how dare I not do it? Like I just gotta try. I think my work is beautiful. Like I only mint things that I think that I love. And so, if people connect with it with a like or a comment, like that's actually enough for me. I don't necessarily need the sale, but it's this weird, I think, artistic thing where you're like, how do I value my work? I'm just the type that would be happily like give it away as a gift. But I think as a true artist too, you really do have to gauge and figure out your own pricing. So that's another area of growth that I love about painting and art. And thank you, Cass, for pinning my timed edition that I have. I do a timed edition the 13th of every month as a way for me to be accountable to producing and minting art, just to put it out there. Timed edition, priced for kind of cheap, really just to get it into the hands of more people that might connect with it. Otherwise, I'm trying to push myself to figure out how to use AI with my old school watercolors. So this particular piece, I painted it, took a picture, went into Canva to edit it into like different, I guess, filters. And then I learned how to do a glitch code in, I guess, Python with ChatGPT help. And then I used an AI video editor to transform between the like 25 frames that I had chosen to get this end product. So just trying to push myself to do a little bit more and incorporate what I learned over time. But that's me. That's me and my Friday with hopefully more art that I could share as I'm helping with Bad Take.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. Rose, that art is crazy, man. Like, jeez, I did not know. I didn't know you had it like that. This is dope, man. This is dope.
Thanks. I actually spent a lot of time on the post painting part, like a lot. And sometimes it feels a little bit like I'm straying away from what I just love and do with ease. So I'm trying to balance that out because it takes me like 10 hours to paint a piece and then it takes me a lot longer to try to finish up and do an animation. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know if it's the benefit is there for me from a creative perspective, but I'm just trying to put examples of me stretching, but I might revert back to just posting a painting, minting just a plain painting for the next one.
The fact that you can merge all of that with AI to come up with something that creative, like, it's wild to me because my mind doesn't even work in that manner to be like, yo, let's try to mix and match this and do this and put it in Canva and then AI and put some glitch on it. Like, everybody has their own thing, and it's amazing to see when people actually tap into it and what they come up with after they do it. This is amazing.
And how dare Super Rare not know of you yet, Rose? not the other way around.
Yeah, thanks, Kath. So I had, I think, a mental block for a while, and then I'm like, shoot, time can't be wasted. You know what I mean? If I feel like my work is good enough, I'm going to apply, and I have to do a video of me talking about it. So there's prep, and yeah, excited to do it. It's set a goal, state it out there. I set it in a space that I was going to do it, so I'm going to hold myself accountable and do it by end of May. Just float it through, and then I can move on to my next goal, which will be nice. I think my next goal is honestly onboarding for Artifact. What we mentioned, was it just last night, about the space, do the museum, do the room that's immersive with all of the great content we have here. Like, I've been taking notes on great spaces that we can also do just audio transcript, audio into the room, and some fun ways to maybe cheat it to have it as if it's a guided tour. So yeah, I was brainstorming with Jerry and Cass the other day. So try to mobilize folks. I'm going to talk to, I think, Compound and Dre offline, and then see how we can get it going in our Discord first, and get Notion and folks ready, because I think everyone is going to be so willing to help out. I think it's just, how do we structure it to get all the right pieces? I don't want to waste anyone's time. So I think a little bit of structure will be good. A call to action for a short period, and then from there we can just roll it out, and it'll be iterative, which will be fun because it can live and grow as more people want to participate. But having something long-standing living out there for more people to experience when they find us, I think will be really helpful. And for the folks that have been here for a while, I think it'll be neat for us to like re-experience the magic and the love, and falling for Artifact all over again when we can go back in time. And I saw some nice tweets and threads today about how, like, who was it? They had mentioned that they had joined Artifact because of Compound, and then Compound mentioned he joined because of Cass, and that lovely kind of leap. And I think for me, it was an infographic. It was the infographic of the, the map where the pigeon and then the airdrops and the branching of that. And that's all it took for me. Like, just, it was that visual. So hoping that we can create something in the metaverse that gives that same kind of experience, so that they enter that initial onboarding room and that's it. Hook them. That's the moment where we have to catch them. And we can have like flight attendants, if you will, and on cyber to welcome people, maybe in the beginning, just to test out and see that, yeah, it's Friday. My mind's like relaxed. I'm just thinking, what else could we do? What else could we do together? I think that's the most fun part. Like, I don't think, for me, like, creating on my own is kind of cool, but creating with others, oh man, that's momentum right there. I'm not that great with like copy pasta and Twitter, but I'm good with on cyber. So excited to meet up with other folks that want to do it. But look at me, I'm all chatty today, yeah?
No, we love Chatty Rose. Keep it coming, bro, because you spitting the gospel. I talked to Compound about this earlier because I thought it was a really great conversation we had that really evolved into a great idea. And I think it's necessary. Kane having all of these assets and coming through, investing his time and energy as much as he's done already, and not knowing anything about the story was like, what? Like a flag to me. But I think at this point, allowing people to immerse themselves on an even deeper level once they get into the backstory and the lore is only going to make their entire experience that much better. So it just showcased to me that it's a necessary hole that we need, or a necessary gap that we should bridge as a community, and it would make every individual's experience that much more enriched once we do so. So I'm with it.
And for Animus, we had the Twitch live stream and the footage and all that. I mean, you can have like the Animus room, especially at this beginning stages, where people that are looking to enter, and it's the price point of entry is pretty compelling, right? I feel like that's a great catch, if you will, if we can create that room and experience so that they can almost go through that Animus experience where we're all trying to put in like eye protect and all that. I mean, it's all available. I think it's just reintroducing it to folks or making it available. I love subway maps or metro maps, so I feel like we can also do that kind of infographic to kind of guide people to the different on cyber spaces. And for Bad Take community, we need a headquarters, man, to do that community pod where we can portal to everyone's loot pod and space pods and spaces, because that's how you get to know people really well, is based on their collection and how they decorate their pods. And I had done this for this other community called B Card that I was in, and it was phenomenal just to be able to see everyone's not just like artifact assets, but art and NFTs that they collected, and just laugh about the rugs that we have as NFTs that were hung on the walls. It's like, for us, it's special, right? Your first NFT, your first rug, your first big win, the one that you just love and adore, even though it might be kind of, not so known. And I think floating around that, just to talk about one particular person's like house, if you will, right? I think it's really special. So I think for within our family and community here, we'd love to set that up. So many things that we can do.
The clone cribs. That's all I can think about when you describe that. Everybody popping in, trying to show off their hot tub in the middle of their house or some crazy ridiculousness. No, I definitely agree with the onboarding room. I like that idea a lot. I'm down to help figure out ways we can make that kind of stuff happen, because there's a lot of different things going on, and there's a lot of stuff that we could have to tie it all together. It's definitely going to be part of the next phase. I feel like that's needed. So when more people who, like you described, like Kane, jump in, and in the first month they don't have to try to piecemeal everything. But yeah.
I thought Tabby's walkthrough yesterday was wonderful. I had screenshotted the timestamps and whatnot to kind of go back. We have the audio version. It could be his clone. I can maybe animate it so that's if his clone is speaking in a cleaned up version to post on cyberspace. So it's all about leverage. We can say it out loud and it's captured. I got AI going to clean up all the ums and stutters and likes that we often say. I do that with our audio video via the Descript app. So there's certain things where I'm like, yep, I kind of learned it with an intent to maybe leverage it and use it for us moving forward. So we can look good. I have a cheat in OnCyber where I could put a video underneath the floor and set it so that it will only start when you're near it. So, you approach the Animus egg, and then all of a sudden, there could be an audio of what Animus is right there. So, there's some technical cheats that you can do to make sure that it is almost like a self-guided tour. I think a guided one is fun, but that requires us to man it. But a self-guided with some effect like that would be fun too. But we got video, and there's so much that others have done that have like blown my mind. I'm like, ooh, I just probably have to float the idea and then see if like Beb and Mike and others can like get it done, because I can customize a frame, I can decorate a room and kind of curate a vibe, if you will, based on those constraints. But I'm down to help commission a custom space to be built too for our purpose, because it needs to be vast. It needs to have like pockets and wings and rooms. Yeah, I gotta sketch that this weekend and get it going.
Trying to build out the bad take universe over here, it sounds like. I think that's super cool. And definitely a lot of dope people around to help out to try and make those things happen. I think the only thing you'll come down to is just like which platform, how do you want it to look, all that stuff. But I'm excited, because more and more days of us running around in our clone avatars, doing shenanigans, and just really trying to live that metaverse life. Very, very few.
I mean, having the VRM files takes it to a whole nother level, because we can almost do even like a photo shoot of us with our VRM, say on Cyber, and that becomes like a plug in terms of like join us, I don't know. I think that just brought on Cyber onto a whole nother level in terms of an experience, if you will. Um, it mimics real life, and I feel like the metaverse really is just us wanting to be in the video game together, right? For us to like run around and get assets and weapons and whatnot. And so I feel like this is just the beginning, and this is where you kind of spend your time to like customize and all that stuff too. So very cool to be able to do that via Blender and then into VRM into the metaverse. So I don't know Blender well, so that might be another like homework assignment for myself, just to like play hooky for a day, buckle down and learn Blender. Because I feel like the constraint of me not knowing how to create makes me kind of unhappy. I'm not satisfied. I'd rather do it myself, honestly.
Feel you on that, but I don't. My mind doesn't work in a way to be like, yo, buckle down, play hooky, and learn this. It's like, man, I gotta have a want or a need or a passion for me to truly dive into it. And I've done it a couple times, but it just hasn't. The curl just ain't curled over for me like that.
I feel you, Rose. I'm definitely the type to just pick stuff up and try to run with it and see how much I can learn. And I think you'd pick up Blender pretty quick, especially like being someone who paints and like you like retexture your paints. That shit sounds crazy. Like I can't even begin to start thinking about like the process of painting or making anything that seems like kind of fluid on watercolor. So yeah, I think you'd pick up stuff pretty fast, and Clone Tools is like a huge help. So at least like the general stuff of like bringing clones into Blender and getting them started, like it's definitely a 1 month head start on most people.
I did the donut tutorial with just my laptop and trackpad. I went halfway through and then I stopped because I'm like, I need a real mouse. I want to put it on my desktop. And then I thought, the tutorials are okay, but I think I'm a little old school. I actually want to learn the software so I understand the functions. And the reason why I actually wanted to get into like 3D was because I do painting. I actually wanted to design my own teapot so that I could have my painting on the teapot, just like in real life where, there's nice, beautiful teapots that are ceramic and all that. And so it was just kind of this like, I don't know, little girl thing where I just loved mini teapots when I was little. So once I started painting, I was like, I would love to have a teapot set collection. So that might be my first thing instead of a donut. Like create the teapot, UV bake my painting on it, and then see how that goes. But I definitely want to get going and learn. I got a little distracted with finding a new job and all that kind of stuff. So try to get back on it.
I definitely understand the IRL priorities on things, but yeah, your goal I feel like is very attainable because I'm also the person that like I started the donut tutorial. I think I got like 2 minutes in, and I just like I get immediately bored with things that I don't want to do, like kind of like Dre said, and so I was like, bro, I'm not spending 8 weeks learning how to make a fucking donut. Like that's just not gonna happen. So I would definitely like pull up maybe like one of those. I'm sure there's actual like YouTube tutorials on how to make a teapot, but most I've found they don't do a good job of like teaching you what like this little button over here means or like what this little button means. But if you go and like dig around enough, you'll find ones that show you what to do and have a good breakdown of what you're doing.
Yep, and I have ChatGPT to help me too. I've been doing a few cheats and helps on other technical aspects, and so yeah, I'll try to leverage that as well. Just different ways to
Oh,
learn
that's super
faster.
smart.
It's not maybe perfect or exact, but it gets me kind of close. So I'll be happy with close for now. I'm usually the perfectionist that wants to do it exactly to my spec, but if I don't know the controls, there's no way I could do it.
Blender has like 1,000 controls for like 1,000 different things. That's the only problem. It's like just a vast library of stuff that you can do. But I think like the simplification of things of just like even if you said like I want to make a teapot and then put my painting on it, like that's like super attainable, and I could see you crushing that very soon, faster than you probably realize.
Oh, one thing that I wanted to do, I think I might have said in a space, but I actually want to use paint a piece that's specific so it looks like maybe a body like back tattoo for my clone. That will be fun because I feel like that won't be too complicated to be able to do that outline and then do my render of my clone putting on like a kimono from the back so you can see my back tattoo. So that might be something that I'll do a line for. If anybody
Damn,
knows
yeah.
Rose, you got black tattoos? What's going on?
No, I don't. But in the metaverse, I'm gonna.
I was gonna say y'all better get your bookings now because it sounds like Ro's gonna be the first tattoo artist in the clone world. That shit'll be hard because I think I've seen like Rupsy do a few custom tattoos. I think those were super sick. Question is, Rose, what kind of tattoo are you giving yourself? Like, is it? It sounds like it might be some Oriental kind of vibes.
Yeah, I paint floral, leaning kind of Asian for sure. So something, we'll see. I'll have to figure that out. But I'll have to check out Repsi's. I think I had seen it a while ago, but I'm gonna go back and study to see what he's done. Um, yeah, just again, how do I take my painting elsewhere? I entered the challenge that Julian had for the dunks customization, that edit, and so I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll buy my very first Air Force Ones and just try to paint it for fun, do that in real life. Take it everywhere. I just bring paints everywhere.
If you're opening up a clone tattoo shop, I'm putting my appointment in right now because I need some for mine. A whole body sleeve, tattoo, joint, neck, to the everything.
Got it. You are on my list. Once I figure out how to do it, and I will show you what I can create to see. Let's go. This is so funny. It's like a whole different Rose. Never I ever in real life want to get a tattoo, but now I'm like daydreaming of what the heck tattoo can I? Okay, so my clone is super plain. She's high ponytail, black t-shirt, black pants, and those sandals. God, those sandals, I swear. So when people are doing these wonderful 3D renders, what Ali did, I'm like, oh my God, mine will look so plain Jane. This cannot be happening. So I've been already bugging Aunt Ben in the Phenomenate team. Like, I need an outfit. I need drip. Like, help me out because my clone is super clean, but not that exciting in the metaverse. So we're working on something.
Tattoos, man, it's the art that never goes away. I'm feeling the same way, man. I'm really like itching for a tattoo. Last year around this time was when I got my back tattoo, and then I got my chest tattoo, and now I'm like, bro, I gotta get my neck done. I gotta get my torso, my legs, I got the bug, man, for real. Like,
He said, "I got all this free space."
yes. What am I doing? I'm slacking because honestly, I had a goal set of last year to have my upper torso completely done by the end of the year, and I slacked off. I got a lot done, but I kind of slacked off. But I'm really itching for like a full like neck sleeve. They call it neck sleeves, but a full neck tattoo for real.
Like I've thought about neck tattoos. I think the one thing that sold me off is my last tattoo artist. Like he had a huge just piece across his throat, and I was like, bro, I was like, how did that feel? He's like, dude, it was sick. Felt like somebody was cutting my neck the whole time. I'm like, oh, bro. I'm like, I got the desire sometimes to get random tattoos or like just go in and have a session, but man, I don't know if I want my whole throat cut for 4 hours.
I'm ready for it. It's kind of like you got to put yourself in a mental preparation. It's like my body's been yearning for it, and then when I start doing it, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking about doing this? Like when I got my back tattooed, it took 4 days. At the end of that first day, I was like, bro, I might just have to leave it how it is, man, because I don't know about this.
Yeah, dude.
You say ain't nobody go back there.
Like, they never
The,
see it. It's all
the
good.
throat is not as bad as the stomach. I'll tell you that. The stomach is by far my worst experience in a tattoo parlor. The throat wasn't terrible compared to the stomach. And now they have like there's so much like numbing foam and like stuff that you can use. So like when I was getting I didn't use it for my stomach, and I wish I would have, because after I got my stomach done, it was like an 8-hour session, and I felt like I had a flu for like 2 days. I think my body was in shock from all the trauma. You know, I felt terrible. And I told myself I'm never going to put myself through that long of a session anymore. I'm getting older. This just isn't for me. And so I went in to get my shin done. And when he was doing my shin, I was like halfway through it, and I said, "Dude, I don't really know if I want to keep going with this. I might come back and have you finish this up. It's too much." And he offered this foam, and he put the foam on. And he said, "Give it a couple minutes." I came back in. I said, "Bro, you could crack me with a baseball bat. I wouldn't feel a thing, man." And he went to work, and you could feel the vibration, but you cannot feel any pain at all. It's the weirdest feeling. It's because you know he's doing it, and you could see him do it, but you can't feel nothing. And so, yeah, they got all kinds of stuff now. So it's not too bad.
So, what part of your stomach did you get? Like, you talking about like lower,
The
like tummy?
entire thing.
Man.
Yeah, my whole stomach, my whole front of my body is pretty much covered. And the stomach, like, and honestly, it's like the underbelly part, which is like the worst, and anywhere near your hip
Yeah.
bones. Like right
Oh yeah,
above
I'm about
my
to say
hip
that.
bones where that little V's at. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I was about to say that because I got mine when I got my ribs done
Oh,
after I got my chest, and they went down to my hip bone, and I
bro.
was,
It's the worst.
I
And
was
then
saying,
anywhere near your armpit, you feel like you're about to die,
yeah,
man.
yeah, but just because nothing really touches that area, so it's
Exactly. It's so
extremely
tender.
sensitive,
Yeah, it's little baby skin, you know.
bro. But when they hit that hip bone, like it hit me so hard, like all I could do was laugh, like you know how you laugh through pain, like hysterically laugh. I'm sitting there with tears coming out my eyes and laughing because he was fucking me up.
Yeah, I
But
thought my hand was bad when I got the top of my hand done because it was swollen for a couple of days. I thought, man, that's terrible. It can't get worse than that. And then, boy, was I wrong because my stomach was just the worst. And then the healing process is just crazy. So
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I was
didn't
about
think
to
the hand
say,
was that bad.
how do you sleep on your stomach though?
I don't sleep
Because
on
like
my stomach because I'm a man, bro. I sleep on my back.
I
You
sleep
know
on my
what I
stomach too,
mean?
man. That's fucked
I
up.
do
That's
not
fucked
sleep
up.
on my belly. I'll tell you
I
that.
was say I sleep on my stomach, bro.
Yeah, I like to flip flop. You know what I mean? Depends on the time. Depends on the day. That's fucked up. But no,
I
it's
was,
No,
that flu shit is real too though. Because I remember my wife, she got her sleeve done, and after we got it done, we went back to the Airbnb, and she's like, "Man, is it hot in here?" And she was looking at me like, "Hey, touch my forehead. I have a fever." I'm like, "Nah, bro, you just got a tattoo. You got to chill out, man. You fucked your body up, and you in shock. And you got to get ready
that's
for it. You got to
real, man.
prepare
Your
for that.
body does
It
kind of go
is.
into shock. It's terrible.
It's real. Cause I mean, you sitting there inflicting pain for hours voluntarily, and your body's like, "What are you doing? Why are we doing this?
Yeah,
Turn
not
it off."
good. Not good. I do not recommend that.
That being said, I'm looking to get my neck done as soon as possible. So,
Yes, absolutely. I cannot wait to go back.
I would say, Rups, yeah, I guess I should have known after you came out with like tattooed clones that you got a bunch of tats yourself. Because the way
Yeah.
yours look, like they all look clean, like super clean.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I wanted to do when I got a hold of some clone files was like, how do I get tattoos on this guy? Because I just remember like was it NBA 2K might have been the first game where I think you could like put tattoos on like your avatar or something like that. And I wasn't really big into the game itself, but I thought the concept was so dope. And so I would just keep creating player after player after player and just add tattoos and like I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So when I got a hold of these files, that was the first thing I did was figure out how the hell am I going to do this. So I put the tattoos in the comments and tagged Rose so she could see. So
bro, those NBA 2K or I think it was like NBA Live tattoos. They were so terrible. It's like a butterfly and like a rainbow. Like some of the worst shit you would not want to put on your body. They gave you all the options for the terrible shit.
Gotta have the like one little thin barbed wire around the
but
arm. That
yeah,
was
Oh
the
yeah,
staple, bro,
but
back then.
yeah.
everybody knows that athletes are notoriously known to have terrible freaking tattoos. So for whatever reason, they get all that money and they just get the worst work done. I don't know what it is.
That's a fact. I think a lot of them get it done before they get to the NBA. Like they homie do it in their garage somewhere. I know for a fact, like, and this is a recorded space, but I don't care. Like Kendrick. Oh no, it's not recorded. I didn't record it. Kendrick and all the TDE homies had some of the most terrible tattoo ever is because they homies did it
Bro, those
legit
are
in the
Crenshaw hood tattoos, bro. Like
in the garage.
that's what you get.
Those shits was like he had like a money bag with a crooked money
Bro, I'm
dollar
not gonna
sign on
lie.
it.
I
Like,
got a
oh shit.
tattoo in somebody's shed in their backyard one time. So I'm not, you know what I mean? I was in someone's shed in their backyard, and they had one of them lights with a chain on it where you got to pull the chain. And I said, "Damn, bro. Damn. I think I messed up, bro." But I will say this: it's one of the better tattoos that I have, and for the price, man, you can't go wrong. I might look that dude up again. I mean, it was good work for a fair price. It was in a shed, but you know, sometimes you gotta roll with it, man.
You getting some shed tattoos. I hope the price is right, bro. You
Bro, I
can't be
put myself in some precarious situations before, bro. Like it is not all sweet over here.
overcharging in the shed. Like,
Hey,
crazy.
it's a recession. Everybody gotta eat. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, didn't have a wait list. You know what I mean? Like I could get right in. He penciled me in, no problem.
Nah, I was gonna say I have I think my worst tattoo is like it's one I got in the pandemic, and it's like the most recent one, and it was just because my wife and I, we were just going through a bunch together, and we ended up just getting like just literally, I was like, let's just go get shitty matching tattoos one day, and that's what we ended up doing. So my like I got this black heart that is like just hella faded. Hers is hella lopsided. It was just a rush job, you know. So sometimes it's just what the universe calls for.
Bro, I was in Hawaii. Me and my wife were in Hawaii, and she had went to go. I think she was getting her nails done or something. And in Honolulu, I don't know if you guys ever been, but there's everything everywhere. So there's like tattoo shops all over the place. And in the same plaza, there's a tattoo shop. And I said, "All right, babe, you get your nails done. I'm just gonna go walk into the shop. I'm just gonna look around. I'm not gonna do nothing. Don't worry, you're fine." And so she's done with getting her nails done, and I'm in the tattoo shop getting a tattoo. And I, I was like, "Bro, I don't know what I want." And I was like, it has to be something real quick. And so he gave me a pineapple skull, like this like stick figure sketch of a pineapple skull on my kneecap, bro. Like it is the weirdest fucking thing. Like I'm almost embarrassed to wear shorts now. Like I gotta go back to like the early 2000s and wear long shorts again, bro. This is not good.
Oh man, that's wild. I wouldn't be the type to say that you can get a redo, but like, dude, on your knee, that shit would hurt to go to go back over. You can rock
Was
that
not
pineapple
comfortable.
skull. Just
Not
rock
comfortable.
that
It'll get
thing.
covered up eventually. That'll get covered.
Well, damn, Rusty, we also got to shout you out while you're up here for the all the like different fits that you've been putting out, variations of the DNAs, and yeah, your design work is stupid. It's just yeah, sick.
I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's been a it's been a lot of learning, but you know, I'm new to all this 3D stuff too. And once Artifact came around is when I picked it up, and it's just been a lot to learn, but it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, it's been fulfilling, man. I just like to create, and it's you know, when I get sick of doing shoes, I just kind of pivot to something else, and it gives me an outlet to get some of that energy out, and so yeah, it just keeps the juices flowing. So I'm excited to keep sharing. I got a couple more to share, and then we're gonna give them to everybody and let them rock them. And they're like I said, they're clone tools compatible. Shout out to Beb. He happened to like put the tutorials out just in time and get Clone Tools 2.0 ready. Like it's weird how it all lined up because I've been making these things forever, you know, and then I was wondering like how am I gonna like get these to everybody to where like everybody can use them easily, you know. And then Bev with the 2.0, he came out with the tutorial on how to like rig and share assets, and it was perfect. So yeah, it's a seamless transition. You know, you just get a zip file and put it in there with the rest of your clone files and click a button, and there you go. It's done. It's rigged. It's ready to go. You pose however you want. Textures look really good. The colors are good. They're made to, the designs were, colorways were made to fit the sneakers, the Air Force Ones, nicely, so they would look good with the Air Force Ones when those files go out. And so yeah, just a nice little collection. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't want to do like an entire line. That's just too much. Figured T-shirts was just a good little jump off point, and then drop those, and then I can get back to doing like custom one-of-one fits and stuff like that I really enjoy again, and little knickknacks and whatnot. So
It's amazing to me that you've been doing this for months and it looks the way that it looks. Like when people say, "Yeah, I only been doing this for like 6 months," and it looks like y'all been mastering this your entire life. It's crazy.
yeah, I mean, well, the as long as you know how to use the software, it does all the work, and it's just a matter of spending enough time in front of a computer, breaking enough magic mouses because I get frustrated and I slam them, and just putting the time in. And then there's a couple little tricks that if you know anything about like color correction, or like if you've ever done any type of photography and stuff, like it doesn't just stop with the render. Like you really got to take advantage of all the other products and software that's at your disposal. If you just take it from Blender and you post it online, well, it might look okay, but it could look even better if you take it out of Blender and put it into Photoshop and color grade and there's a lot of things that you can do to really make your work stand out from just a normal work. So it's really, yeah, there's not much to it really.
That's what they all say until you get down into it and try to make a donut, and it takes 3 months.
Hey, bro, I started with that donut. I got about halfway through that donut. I said, no more donut, dude. No more donut. I just, like, what I learned is, like, Blender has, like, a million different, you can literally do everything in Blender. But for the most people, you're only going to need to know a very small, specific amount. And if you can learn that very small, specific amount that helps you create what you want to create, and you can learn how to become efficient with those things, it's beautiful. And it's the same thing with all these other programs and all these other things. Like, yeah, Photoshop can do a ton of stuff, but you might only need it to do a couple little things. Like Johnny's like a freaking magician with Photoshop, right? He can do all kinds of stuff really fast because he's become super efficient in learning how to break down a shoe, and he knows exactly what tools that he's going to need to get the result that he wants. And so it's bam, 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 and knocks it out. But it took him years to make it look like he gets it done overnight. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't just get it done overnight. That's years of learning how to be efficient with those certain tools. And now he does get it done overnight. Like, he'll just be on a Spaces, and by the end of the Spaces, he's got a new design done. And you're like, how do you do that? Well, he put 10,000 hours in. You know what I mean? That's how he does it. So,
No, that's a fact. It's kind of like creating music with Fruity Loops. Like people go to their same, you know, add-on that they use all the time. They find new ways to warp it or new midis to add or whatever, and they just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. But you can have so much that you could dive into with the actual program. So I feel you. I gotta. When it comes to like construction or reconstruction of anything, like say you walk into a house, and my wife is really good at this, walking into a home and being like, "Oh, we can take this wall out and put the refrigerator here and move the stove over here and do this and do that." And I just look at it like, "Yo, this is a dusty ass house to me. I don't see none of that you see right now." But when it comes to, and I said this before, when it comes to like clothing, my mind works in a way where I can look at someone, look at a pair of shoes and be like, "Oh, you can match that with this or do this with that and create this with that." So everybody got their own thing, and that's what I said. That's why I gave up on the. I don't say gave up. I just didn't really try with the donut. Like, you know what? I'm gonna stick to what I know, which is more so
yeah,
fashion and effective communication.
everybody's creative vision is different. You know what I mean? Like, we all don't see creativity the same way. And we're all, and it's the ones that, like, if you try to do everything, then you're probably not going to be that great at really anything. So you got to really kind of know what you're good at, what your strengths are, and what you're like passionate about. And if you can get a blend of the two, well, there you go. You know what I mean? Then you got something. And so, yeah, man, like not everybody needs to do 3D, but that's the beauty of Artifact. Like they don't just cater to one thing. Like you don't have to be into like the whole 3D world to be involved in Artifact. You just might be a sneakerhead. Or if you're not into sneakers, well, you might be a gamer and there might be something for you there. Or if you're not into that, maybe you just like figuring stuff out and these quests are what do it for you. Or like there's so many different things, and that's, it literally truly is a creator space because creators have different visions and they cater to those different visions, and it's a beautiful thing, and that's why we're here, man.
I agree. I agree.
Yo, so Repsy's been writing to me. I ain't gonna lie, it's really sad because she's been going in. But I see we got Ampen and Polly. Ampen, what's going on? Oh, well, go ahead, Polly. That's cool.
Okay, wait, hold on. Guys, I'm so happy to hear your voices. How's it going? Did you know that in Chinese culture, they're celebrating a digital love kind of day today? There is a specific holiday dedicated to this experience of, I guess, like an enhancement emotional experience that is intangible, but it can be what is the synonym of the word experience, so I don't have to repeat it like 5 times?
No, I see what you're saying though. That's really it'd be interesting if we had a international like Tinder day in America, because that's almost what it sounds like, since it's digital romance. That's the Tinder been saving lives, I guess.
Cass, so okay, I got explained. Okay, so it's basically called Network Valentine's Day. It's a love festival in the information age, scheduled for May 20th or 21st each year. This festival, I love that like in Asian culture they have festival around like everything. The festival originated from the fact that 520 in Digital Love by singer Fan Xiangxiu was compared to I Love You, and the close connection between I Love You and Internet Lover in the online song of musician. Oh my god, it's like musical culture somehow influencing new traditions. We should reinforce it through like, I guess, Web3 musicians as well. We can reinforce like creation of a holiday accepted by normies. Guys, am I a normie or am I a degen? I have a hard time defining myself.
Well, I'm gonna be cliche and say I don't like labels. That's very 2017 hipster, but it's an accurate statement because, I feel like some people, if you got to take time away or you only like spend time in a few projects, you can definitely be considered a degen compared to like the person who doesn't know anything about Ethereum and is still trying to understand why you even want to touch a Bitcoin. So yeah, I mean, because I see you in spaces at like 3 a.m. my time, so I'm like, yo, she she up there with Kuro at 3 a.m. shit, like those are degen hours.
If you're doing anything with Kuro, you're a DJ 100%, absolutely. DJ.
That's a fact.
Got it. Big question solved. Oh my god. I'm gonna celebrate digital love every day in this space.
One thing that my wife and I do is we go to different places. We have these Tinder challenges to see how many people we can pick up on Tinder in that city.
Wait, is it a challenge or a marathon?
Well, I guess this is how you look at it, right? That's like life, right? But it's just to see how many, and then we compare the swipes and the likes and see who got the best of the bunch. And that's about as far as it goes.
Said Dre gonna be campaigning this national holiday, y'all. They definitely gonna be taking a day off.
Gotta swipe. But you know what's wild about Tinder and stuff now? That they charge you to see who liked you. Like they want you to really be immersed in the ecosystem. You gotta pay a fee just to see the likes. So you can see the number of likes, but you can't see who liked you.
No,
Kind of
I
wild.
pay $138 per month, and it extends the profile. You can see their actual education, not the bullshit that they put. And I like that a lot because I need to be able to have a conversation with somebody smarter than myself. Otherwise, I'm just gonna leave.
$138 a month. I will find you girls that you can.
Yo,
That
dude,
is crazy.
dropping
Yo,
his
you guys
bag
think being
on
single is easy? I envy you guys. You guys have found somebody that you can be with, man. That's fucking beautiful. Um, I'm just out here. I'm in these streets, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Girl, one of these days you're gonna catch you. You're gonna catch you something, or somebody's gonna catch you. That's really the way it is. I'm not trying to get caught up. I'll just be honest. I, yo, I don't know how to put this like without sounding crazy, but like, yo, if my mom doesn't like her, um, that's probably a good thing. But
Okay,
you
hold
know,
on. I'm gonna
I
cut
thought
you
this was
off
going
here.
so much more wholesome route. I was throwing up hearts. I was like, yeah, girl, your mama love her. That's good.
Exactly, that's what I
No,
thought
no,
he was
no. The
heading
last
to.
girl that my mom like stabbed me. Where, yeah.
Bro, you the one with a knife in your mouth, bro. What is going on out here?
Okay, Kura, look. I guess we are somewhat on the same page, but I find a lot of wholesomeness in my solitude, and I definitely want to experience that to the extent where I wouldn't allow anyone to sort of like change me.
Oh
That have
no! In the last week,
confidence.
I've went on 5 dates.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I'm not doing the solitude thing. I'm proactively trying to meet somebody, but like, I don't think where I'm at right now. Um, Everyone here is kind of like into oil rigs and stuff like that and firefighting. Um, so I'm not, yo, I don't know how to put this, man. I'm not in the right place. Uh,
Bro,
yeah,
oil and fire don't mix, bro. What?
Oil rigs
bro,
and
you're telling
firefighting.
me,
That's crazy.
bro. Imagine like you show up for a date and the young lady I was going on the date with, she showed up with her like uh, firefighter gear on. And now I'm trying to figure out what the fuck they have to put out here, what fires they're trying to put out here. I thought it was like a joke. I thought
She
I was
put
gonna.
out your fire, my guy. She wants to put that fire out, dude.
She was trying to tell you something. Those boots smelled. Okay, so I like you guys probably already realize this, but I'm just like a guy that will just like pay for dinner and leave. I'm not gonna stay.
Yo, so Carol, if she's got dirty boots, do her feet smell?
Okay, hold on. So there's
I don't
something
know. We didn't
unethical
get that
about
far.
these kind of stories because we can never find out her perspective. No, that hurts. Women should not be treated like that in Web
Sideshow
3.
Bob showed up. What do you think her perspective was? Yeah, I think we got to be objectively nice about this young woman's feet. But damn, Pearl, I
Hey
hope it
guys,
wasn't like that.
sorry. Okay, on that note, I'm derailing the conversation in the route where we want to end up. So I think I'm kind of like establishing a little crush on this guy, whose name is unpronounceable. In fact, I was referring to him like Leonidas the entire time, and it just sucks. I can't even have a normal conversation, even though his effect somehow has this, or like his voice has this effect on me where I experience it within and outside, like my neck shivers. That's annoying. But when it comes to saying hi, even so, we hang out in spaces like for hours. I cannot say a word. It's painful.
All right,
Oil,
somebody get Udi in here right now.
is that who he's talking about?
Bro, we need that firefighter back, bro. Somebody put that
Oh,
fire out,
damn.
dude.
No, but
Oil rigs
Uri.
and firefighters.
But guys, okay, then there's Uri. So I luckily took a nap today for a couple of hours because for the past week I haven't had much sleep. There is like new protocol coming out on Bitcoin every day, and I think it's the right time to have an opportunity to actually meet the builders, the founders, people who want to innovate the technology. But yeah, it's just a lot of going on. So I took a nap, and there's this group chat that Beat got created like 3 weeks ago, solely with the purpose to educate people who were curious about this BRC20 protocol, and it turned out in its own thing. So I wake up, I check my phone, okay, this
You
group
never
chat.
wake up and check your phone. I'm
Hold
gonna give
on.
you the biggest
No.
alpha you're
Hold
ever
on.
gonna get in
This
your life.
group chat
You wait
tells
an
me
hour and a
to
half before you
scroll
touch your phone
back.
every morning. Like, yo, I will purposely take a nap to reset, meditate in that hour and a half before I touch my phone. If you touch your phone as soon as you wake up, you are going to be so stressed out. You're going to be frustrated all day. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. Trust me.
Huro, I don't have like hour and a half after I get up. Like I need to be out, in an hour. So there's like a very short period of time. I have to check the phone. But so I took a nap. Oh, so yes, guys, now I'm paying attention to the group chats even when I wasn't there, meaning I scroll back like half an hour or an hour and actually, try to understand what the conversation is about. And with you, I have the best update on the artifact. So, what is this roadmap? The emoji. I'm so inspired to incorporate emojis everywhere. So, in fact, I texted in this group chat. Basically, I had a lovely nap, GM, and Eddie saying, I love seeing that, Polly. And oh my goodness, I mean, I'm watching this Bitcoin conference streaming just because somehow they placed Udi's panel, the Taproot Wizard guys, in the beginning of the first day. So now I'm hooked on that for, I guess, 2 more days. Um, so I complimented him and Eric on handling this debate with the Bitcoin Maxim, who supposedly do not believe in NFT culture in the Bitcoin ecosystem, but are trying to be very fashionable. So I think, I don't know. So I incorporated this peach emoji, spelling so proud. And somehow it's like enhanced the emotion. I still think about it to the extent where I'm sharing it with everyone. Oh, I'm so sorry. Just I really needed to share. So I do have handful of crushes, and now when I'm thinking of composing an image, just to top it in with a title in Mandarin about the digital love holiday, I don't even know how am I gonna tag everyone.
I'll be honest with you, Polly. When you leave and you're gone for a couple of days and then you come back and you start talking, I always gotta revamp my brain to actually follow along. Because I usually just hear you and I just float with the words and not necessarily pay attention. So I don't know what crushes you have and the GM with the booty peach. I don't know. You know what I mean? I was lost, but
Guys, of course you would be the first one on that list, but please, I'm just trying to prepare you. It's still very real, but somehow the community is getting bigger. I'm sure you will love this, guys. And in a similar way, they are all obsessed about this project, Meta Panda, and they are attempting to build something that Artifact already did on Ethereum. I mean, you cannot compare the artwork, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it wasn't the goal for them, but they have a good understanding of how to support creators in the digital world through providing them with all kinds of different tools. So all the assets are rigged, they're customizable. What else? They offer AR integration, streaming integration, but they don't have press. So I don't know. Well, that's all the Digi news.
Thanks, Polly, with the DJ news.
Hey, Kura, do you think I'm getting better at articulating my complex thoughts?
I'm gonna jump in and say yes.
Oh, thank you. Do you know what? So, guys, at the swamp, sometimes label my questions as dumb, but then they making me a part of the most exciting conversation I would envision myself having, and that gives me a lot of confidence. And I'm so appreciative of
Just
that.
so you know this, Polly, there's no such thing as a dumb question. There's just dumb people that don't ask questions.
That sounds like my next tattoo.
That's a
Where are you
long ass
gonna put
tattoo, bro.
this one?
Bro, so the other day, I went to Whale Show, right? Because I always do that. But um, we had this idea. It was so funny. Because, like, people are always saying the CloneX ecosystem's too complicated. So we made a ruse out of it. Yo, bro, if anyone, just open up that website, they would have won $200, which turned into fucking $3,000, which is because of the prize that was to be won. And like between me and him, we couldn't stop laughing because like, how do you not know there's 10 pairs of AF1s? Like you could just click on the website and it shows you that. Like, yeah, people really
Wait.
don't read in Web3.
Where's the $200 from? Like, I'm lost with this statement too. Like, what are we going
Oh,
with
where's
this?
it? So the $200 was for a price. That's what the original prize was allegedly worth, but it ended up being worth $6,000 because it was for some BRC20 ordinals project to answer questions.
Damn.
Yeah, yo, I'm gonna talk to these Bitcoin guys and see if I can get cloned some fucking, pardon my language, but some whitelist to these BRC20s, because I know it's just gonna go into buying my Monolith X bags. So I'm here for that.
Yeah, not gonna lie, I've been getting rugged because this is the part of my day where the wife gets home and I actually try to take a moment and step outside, but we still here. I tricked her, left her phone inside, so now I can be on Spaces for 10 minutes. That's what you got to do, people. You just got to put the creative distractions into the relationships.
I need to learn this strategy, man. That's funny.
Yo, that was like real alpha there. That
So,
was real alpha.
Kyoto, I have a question. So how come you never came over to the Frog Swamp as Sigma Space?
Oh, because they offered me whitelist for the stuff for that frog thing, and I thought it was a rug, to be honest. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. If it's not artifact, I just think it's a rug instantaneously. So I like, you have to understand. I I don't care how long it takes for the Monolith X to get opened. Um, it could be for the next 5 years. As long as J Topcat is still on Twitter, I'm okay. I don't care. Because I remember I was at my lab one day, and like I was carrying a bunch of beakers for a cellular mitosis experiment, and I just threw that shit up in the air because I was so frustrated. I couldn't understand what the hell was going on. How did they solve the emojis? How?
Carol, you be in the most random predicaments in life, carrying around cellular mitosis vials in a lab somewhere, solving monolith quests. It's crazy.
But guys, it makes me think of I'm so basically when it comes to digital assets, it's obvious there will be never a second artifact. When it comes to the pixelated art, there never be a second punks collection. But so I just can't, especially with the pixelated art. Can somebody explain why it is somehow pairing this movement of orange season or like ordinal season? Why can't they be like so innovative that people across ecosystem would want to like have a glimpse of what is going on there? But when like I don't know, I saw these frogs. I think when they just got listed on Magic Eden because I somehow always like their interface, and they integrated. So basically, first it was Solana. Then Magic Eden became multi-chain. They integrated Ethereum, Polygon. They were the first one to integrate Bitcoin or support. And yeah, I saw the frogs, but I look at this art and it's just I don't feel inspired, even though, like I said, great conversation, so engaged and emotionally enhancement experience. But is it what it is? It is becoming the best community on Bitcoin forever, or is there a chance the metadata can change? Please do not say no to that one.
You know what? This is a good segue to something I've been thinking about, and a lot of conversations that I've been having lately, even at the IRL Alpha panel, and they were talking about the same thing, BRC20s, and integrating art using the Bitcoin um, platform and blockchain. And it, I have a bad take, and I said this before when I opened up this point to the same people on that panel. I don't see the point of any of this anymore. We've already went down that whole pathway of utilizing art on the blockchain in order for artists to receive their due royalties and to create communities and culture within NFTs. But I don't see the next bull run being a repeat of the same thing. I don't think it's going to be anything with BRC20s. Could be wrong. I don't think it's going to be anything like it was with art or JPEGs. Um, I don't think it's going to be anything like we've already experienced before. I think people now are just trying to find other ways to make money. And I think if you was on the timeline earlier, a lot of people passing around that Andrew Tate video where he was talking about crypto Twitter and how people are and the thought process behind it. And he was making some valid points. I'm not really a top G type of person, but I think he was making some valid points about what goes on here in the ecosystem in this Web3 realm. It's a lot of people dumping bags on the same people trying to make money off of the same people. And I think the whole BRC-20 artwork situation is just a reheated hot dog water of the same situation we've already had. So I said this on the panel, and I'll say this again because I still believe in it. I think the next bull run will be about the brands that could actually create real utility utilizing blockchain, right? Rather, I think it's going to have a lot to do with music because we see a lot of the AI situation happening where artists are no longer have control of their own voices, and since they can't trademark their voice, it's being pirated and utilized in ways that they necessarily can't even stop or control. So they're going to have to put all of that artwork, all of that creativity that they utilize on the blockchain just to authenticate that it's them doing what they're doing. So that's going to open up more utility for that said artist because he's going to, or she's going to have communities of people who are a part of understanding why they're on the blockchain and utility that comes along with it. And then that's going to spill over into the tokenomics of what we've been doing thus far. So that's just my chain thought. That's what I think. It's BRC-20 stuff. I'm not shooting it down because I'm sure tons of people making tons of cake on it, but I think it's just a rehash of the same thing, and people are just trying to find new ways to make old money. I don't know who had their hand up first, but y'all can rock, paper, scissors for the next speaking.
Huda, you go first.
No, ladies first. Sorry.
Oh, you're so sweet. Basically, there's definitely an advantage that collections released before 2021 have, and it's the fact that all the sorry guys, my throat. So it's the fact that the open source AI was taught on the information that was available to access on internet before 2021. I'm not sure about the month, but yes, first Marvin pointed that out to me the first time he explored the machine learning algorithm. He basically asked if it is familiar with Minecraft, and of course it responded yes, gave him like some broad understanding on the who's the creator, what's the roadmap, how it turned out. And then he asked if AI is familiar, or like ChatGPT is familiar with Minecraft Legends. And he was so disappointed. It's like it's a new thing, supposedly, and he was disappointed that ChatGPT wasn't familiar with it, and so he wasn't able to establish this like trustworthy relationship to be interested, to be engaged. So that's a big loss on their part. I'm gonna try to generate something using the interpretation of the CloneX asset.
So my personal belief is that there's going to be 15 collections that are left the next bull run. Artifact, obviously, Yuga, Chiru, like Azuki, Beans, whatever ecosystem, and then probably Pudgies, Sappies. Is going to be a lot of cute shit after that, and then it's like, and then it's all just going to be one of one artist. Like literally, just going to be all one of one artists from like the top like 6 down. It's just all going to be one of one artist collections. Like people don't get it. Like the first time that there was like all this like NFT shit was like 2018 was the first time people are hitting me up about it. I bought the crypto voxels because someone told me that the metaverse was into the future. It was not the fucking future. Okay, the future was the collections that have IP, and that didn't come until 2021, right? So like people are going to be like, oh, my Decentraland. Listen, man, your Decentraland doesn't matter. Okay, there's people building with actual fucking 3D models here. We don't care about Decentraland. It has nothing to do with what we're doing. If you look up at the top, you'll see recipes art, and you'll see a full 3D model with tattoos on it. That's not done in Decentraland because you wouldn't be able to fucking see it. So I just think like they're just gonna keep grifting like these different little things and stuff like that. And like I do see like a positive benefit to the ordinals because it gets liquidity from people that don't want anything to do with Ethereum. Um, and there you go again. You have visions, right? Like his utility is going to be fucking amazing because I just joined his Discord today. So our bad take game is going to definitely use his model customizer.
Yes, sir. That's a excellent segue there, Kuro. I appreciate you doing that, man, because I was just about to go into that. So I had the pleasure yesterday to jump into his Discord and see a preview of what he's building. And if you guys have not checked that out, please look at the pinned tweet at the top that I just pinned up of Vision's World and what he's been building these last couple of months. And this is the future that I'm talking about. This will be part of that utility that comes along with certain brands and certain projects that you can continuously build upon. It's not a like I said, the BRC20 thing with art and I get all of that, right? But it's the same hot dog water reheated. You know what I mean? And then we don't need that. We need stuff like this. In this scenario right here, that even this world that Vision's created, you can have an open world concept where our clones are running around, customized to look exactly how your clone wants to look, having its own inventory app to swap out your digital items that you've already received, and even have quest modes in that world where you can find other NFTs that you can then mint from that world and then own in your wallet. So this is utility. This is future, right? And this is what I'm speaking about. And a lot of people have no idea about any of this stuff, but they keep trying to rehash in the same old hot dog
Bro,
water.
and then it goes back to why these collections are going to be at the top because you have real people building real shit, bro. Like yo, you know me, I'm on Twitter fucking 20 hours a day harassing people, frustrating people and stuff. And it's like if you look at the person with the most amount of gaming like knowledge, it's Sobi. And guess what? He's a fucking clone. Okay? That's one clone, okay? That's just one. That's just one. Then you go and you look around and you see who built 3D models for another collection. Guess what? They're a clone. Bro, if you look at Savant's stuff in Saturn, all of them, and you see they built the Randy's Azuki in fucking 3D, bro. It looks so fucking good.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
you see it interacting with the clones and then the Bored Ape that they made in 3D. This is all fucking clones. Like if you look at it, all the best creators, and I say this bias, I'm super fucking biased about this, have all had a part in like the clone ecosystem, have inspired us all to fucking do shit. Bro, you know me, I was doing nothing 20 hours a day but harassing people, and then I started harassing people and working in Blender. And now I harass people less and I work in Blender more.
No,
So
that's a fact.
you know, if you're inspired by the people around you, you'll build. That's
That's a
what I
fact.
got.
Okay, and on that note, this is incredible male's perspective, but coming back to people who inspire you, I feel like we should navigate the Web3 realm exactly the way we do it IRL, intuitively, having our heart and mind open. And there is this joke that's going around in the swamp about taking it all in, but it somehow truly works. Whenever you just, like, I mean, the vocabulary there, I was unfamiliar, but I was listening, trying to understand, and like at some point when your mind is like so relaxed and you're just like observing the vibration or the energy that is conveyed through the voice, it all makes sense. I felt inspired. Exactly the way I do here. So it's interesting. I truly believe that there is an opportunity. I'll elaborate on that thought later. I have to address Shinshula.
I appreciate you and your kind words, Polly. Zay, what's good, bro?
Hey, I just want to piggyback real quick on what you guys were saying about Sovi. Uh, he's been going hard in the paint with the gaming stuff, and he's got. I would keep an eye on him next week. He's got some a pretty big announcement. But yeah, I think honestly, in my opinion, the next bull run will be kicked off by gaming. If somebody can figure out how to do it correctly, then man, to the moon. And I think I'm not saying just this because Sovi's my homie, but he's definitely cooking up something pretty special, and that's all I want to say.
Nah, Sobe definitely is in his own lane, man, when it comes to being a genius when navigating this thing. I don't really know him like that. I definitely don't know him enough for him to pass me along his
Bro,
DNA
we're gonna get dude.
Murakami Air Force Ones, and I'm definitely not bitter about that at all. You know what I mean? But I know he is cranking his
Bro,
thing, and I know
I'll
he's always been
introduce
about
you
it.
in Compound because as much as I love the clones and shit, I be on some bullshit all the time because I need to fucking get these beans going. I need them to see some shit. They love my clone with the bean traits attached to it, but what they're not understanding is how extensible the clones are. They can have their Azuki traits on them. They can have everything on them, bro. The more synergy we get between these two communities, the less likely it is that we're just gonna have all Yuga collections in the top fucking 10. Could you imagine if I was still a Bored Ape, bro? That would be horrendous.
I forgot
I
you were even
actually
aboard
agree
it in the
with
first
you.
place.
Yeah, bro, I don't like talking about that shit. I'm not like particularly fond of the art. So there's that, and then like the attitudes of people that bought the top are crazy. They kicked me out of that Discord. Cause
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, by the way, so in regards to digital assets or the tradition that community embraces, I do feel like Artifact allows more like liberated approach to community building. Not just allows,
way
it
more liberated,
embraces it.
Polly. If you look
Exactly.
at it, I can message any one of the founders and they respond to me.
But
It's just
Kuro,
like the same thing in Azuki. I message, I'd be like saying some crazy shit to Zagabon and to fucking Benito, to all of them. I don't care. And they still respond to me. Like, I get that they're busy, so it takes time for them to respond. But, like, the one thing I can always count on is that, like, I'll show them, like, a render that I had commissioned. And, like, they'll give their input. Like, that is super important to, like, I respect what they did with these collections. You know what I mean? Like, even like the like Zayd sword. That is like my favorite fucking thing ever. I've been trying to bid on those. Nobody will accept my bids, but like, Zayd is cool with me using it until I can buy one because nobody wants to sell.
Oh, bro,
Luckily,
I can send you all those files. To be honest, I don't even have a fucking sword.
honestly, Rusby and me would appreciate that because I see Rusby going hard in the paint. Any model I can get, I always send it to him because, like, visibility for this collection is the most important thing. Like today, you seen on Solana, they had they have Zayd's bucket hat on a fucking doodle derivative.
Bro, that's how you know Zayd's made it. He is officially on his traits are on the shit the shit random NFT derivs.
okay, basically, I'm gonna bring it back somehow to Bitcoin and that event in New York during NFT NYC that Taproot Wizard hosted. That was the first time I met Eli, the producer, and I just remember that moment, him giving me a big smile, and it just like warmed up my heart, and I feel like the moment stopped. So it was, is there is a chance he can migrate and be a proud CloneX
Yo, listen.
influencer?
I'm gonna stop this right here. Uh, Yo, listen. Yuga's doing what Yuga's gonna do. He's signed to Yuga. He fumbled the bag, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. But no, in all seriousness, though, um, he has asked me about clones and stuff, right? And Illa doesn't really show off his NFTs. He's like the rest of us, like we just like kind of chilling here. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's already bought one. Just like Dash hit me up today, showed me a really beautiful clone that he's gonna pick up. And like, if you really think about it, if everyone has a little bit of everything, I think, and yo, I'm gonna say this, uh, except for mutants, I don't like them. I think they're ugly. They're hideous. I would probably get back into the board apes before I ever got into a mutant. I'm just gonna say that. Compound. Oh, you didn't record this one, man. Dang it.
Hey, I have a quick little funny story about that. I can't remember which influencer it was that hit my DMs a while back, but they were trying to trade me a mutant, and I think the floor was like 17 or 20 ETH or some shit like that for one of my clones. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, basically, I don't fuck with that art. But long story short, I ended up selling that clone for 45 ETH like a couple months later. So, you, you know, don't fade the artifact.
I agree, man. I think it's going to be a tables that turn um, very soon, and I know Yuga set the standard, quote unquote, right now, but once the utility actually takes off, it's going to be a totally different narrative that's being pushed.
Bro, this is making me want to buy 3 vials and do what I did last time when I got the lizard and the angel and just put them in a separate wallet, reveal them from separate wallets, and see if I roll something fire. Because I'll let them sit there with their 45 ETH bid. I'm never taking it if I get a Murakami. Bro, the one I always wanted was the dark skin split face Murakami. That is the most fire clone in the entire collection to me. That with the varsity jacket, bro, like holy. One of these days we need to get like tuna, like silly tuna, Luigi. I can't even pronounce his name, and a couple other like people that have super rare clones, and just ask them what the experience has been like, because I'd love to know.
Is it Luggage you're talking about?
Yeah, however you just said that, I can't pronounce it. I'm not gonna butcher it again.
I was gonna say, I feel like those guys are pretty low key. I know Luggage is. I was able to meet him once, but super chill people. It's always interesting meeting people from the space and like connecting, because you really start to get a different picture. And yeah, it's cool to see. There's a lot of dope people in all forms, whether they're collectors or creatives, that I've met.
Guys, on that note, the AI surprised me in the most unexpected way. I can't take my eyes off this little character that it's created, inspired by Murakami flowers. I can't wait for you to see it. Hold on. It's so pretty. It's a digital love kind of day, and I'm gonna celebrate it every day.
Is the melatonin kicking in, probably?
So that's a balance of energies. Like, it's a lot to handle. It's very intimidating experience for someone like me. And to be fair, I had to learn something from scratch before and explore my passion and like the potential within it, or like how to. So it's a lot of energy. Like the Web3 experience can be. Oh, I would love to know how it works for Zaid, because his art is so expressive. It almost like tickles you. So I I am under impression that it is as inspiring for him to see the world of his imagination unfold while he's reflecting on culturally significant events in the ecosystem. Meow.
Well, I'll take this chance just to say hi, Polly. It's been a while. Been thinking about you.
Hi, Rose.
Hey.
I don't even. Oh, so okay. I feel a little bit less stressed out about the topic and the
Nice.
entire. Yes. I had a meeting with a children's attorney on Wednesday, and I can't. I of course should remain as focused and serious on navigating this entire thing, but I'm fairly confident that I made like equally positive impression just by being my true self and advocating for myself and children on judge and on children's attorney. So I don't know, just being, I guess, grateful for this opportunity to grow, and feel even more like just more confident in certain areas that I previously doubted in my personality. And I hope I'm not oversharing, but wanted to give you an update. I'm so grateful that when I most needed it, you took time of your night just to break break the things down for me and nurture me with your energy. Thank you so much.
Sending you love, Polly. I think you lead with love, so I feel like that's always going to win out, even though you might have bumps in the road. Like, we just have to have faith that our true self, our whole self is enough, and we'll find the path, or the path will find us, right? So glad to have you back in spaces and just listen in. I was actually just taking my daughter out to the park while I was listening, and she's conked out in the car, so I did a good job. Tire out the kid. But when you mentioned for Marvin playing with ChatGPT, Google has its own version, is it Bard, that searches the internet. So in terms of like more timely news about, was it Roblox or the
It
game that
was
he was
Minecraft update, the
Minecraft.
legend. But
Okay.
are you saying that there is a way to have it learn on the more updated information?
Yeah, different AI tools, and I think for ChatGPT, the newest release for those that are, I think, subscribed, has an internet plugin where I think you can search the internet too. So depending on your sources, if there's like blogs around the game that you can tell it to like study up on, and then build up, I guess, insight around that to have kind of that chat conversation with him. I think that might be a fun way. So yeah, the normal ChatGPT version is kind of that black box version that has only data that was stored from a few years back, but now more and more models and other tools are coming out so that it is now having accessible to like the internet for searches, but you do have to point it to the right source. So I feel like we do have to be mindful and be careful, because you just want to point it to a good, reliable source with like the most up-to-date information for that topic to get the best, I guess, results and outcome from your prompts and stuff.
Interesting, fascinating. In fact, Rose, and how old is your daughter?
My eldest is 14 and the little one is 3.
Mm-hmm. So, the teenage girl,
Yeah.
like, do you how do you manage her relationship with digital devices? And especially when there's this exciting developments are happening, there's AI. Is she interested in exploring its potential?
It's funny because one way of me, I guess, having oversight is that she has to use my email for all of the accounts, and then it's my phone that I bought for her. So a lot of the logins and sharing, I have visibility to. But she's a rare kid where she loves rules and authority. She likes to work within the box, if you will. So she doesn't push the boundaries around social media and having that independence. And so we have pretty upfront chats about how she can use things. And so she's still very much innocent, I would say. I'm holding on tight, probably because she's going into high school soon. But with ChatGPT, if anything, I show her the examples. It's like she needs help with math. I can't figure it out because I'm like, oh, good Lord. I don't remember algebra from way back when. And I'll try to tutor her. And there's a point where I'm like, I got to ChatGPT it. Can you copy the problem for me? I'm going to have it break down and then I'll review the answer with you so that I know how, so I can better help you. So it's very specific use cases. And then her school is very much a laptop open, scour the internet for resources. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to manage that with AI and whatnot. And then my husband is a college instructor and he is going back old school because everybody is kind of cheating and plagiarizing, if you will. So now he's back to using blue books for assignments. So quizzes are all in person, handwritten, Scantron, blue book, write your essays right in front of me. And he tells them and you can bring in your note card, you can bring in your little study aid. I don't care. It's all about the process of learning. And so the preparation is just what he's grading them on, and showing up for the test is just the thing that they have to do. So I like his thinking about how to combat AI, I guess. And I'm showing him all the ways that people maybe are using it so that he can kind of think through how to then change his way of teaching. So in our household, it's talked about quite a bit. And then I don't think we're as fearful of it as before, but I am nervous about how do kids learn moving forward when everything is then just processed and delivered to them on a prompt result. And so I know you have to get really good at your prompt to get a very robust answer, if you want the 20-page paper. But even just the bite-sized parts, the shortcut I feel is going to hinder their critical thinking skills if we don't put in a little bit of a rigor to get them to work with AI in a more active way. But yeah, I'm curious to see how my eldest, who's going to go into high school, is going to leverage AI and what their rules are for the school. For us in terms of learning, I had to troubleshoot my camera because my toddler got a hold of it and changed all of the dials and settings, and I was stuck. And I went old school. I went to the manual, and I'm like, oh God, this is going to take me forever. I went to YouTube, and then that wasn't the most pointed answer. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got to ask ChatGPT. Like, you know, um, there's a way where you can find the manual online, copy the PDF, and just pump it into ChatGPT. And now I have a model for my camera, and I can ask it on how do I set the settings, as a shortcut, so I don't actually have to flip through and figure it out. So I'm trying to figure
Rose,
out. Yeah.
sorry for cutting you off, but before I forgot a couple of points. First of all, I'm so impressed by you, but it's a given. And I think you can be a perfect person to represent the AI onboarding guide to across your community to every school. You're quite knowledgeable about it, but also there's this sense that you cultivate for your child and children your husband is working with, which I feel um influence their core values to the point where they will be like perfect to teach AI also.
I think I do have, I mean, now that you mention it, I kind of have in my household like the spectrum of education from toddler to high schooler and college kids.
I love
So
it.
yeah, I probably should think about it. I'm very entrepreneurial, so I'm pressing my husband, and I'm just like, we got to retire in 3 years, so hurry up with your ideas. Think of it, dream it, because I can get AI to figure out how we can create income streams. Because I mean, my girls have a big age gap, and that was not by choice; it was just by fate. And so I feel like I have the time pressure to make sure I free up my time so I can be there for my youngest as best I can and not like work my years away. So I definitely am trying to figure out how to spin up side gigs, side things that AI can help me with. But from an education perspective, I'm thinking about it. I should start writing just the things that we're trying and dabbling in our household and then publish it. Content is king, right? So get my other side
I
gigs
mean,
going.
for the teenage daughter, um, maybe both of you can take some like the digital content creation classes, where I mean, I'm not sure how interested she is in expressing herself in the digital world. Like that was something I was passionate about from the first like camera that I had. So I don't know. It just seems like a perfect theme for a YouTube channel where she can introduce her learning experience, and also you can be there and educate. I would subscribe. I would make my kids watch that channel.
Well, I think that's enough for me to start. Polly's gonna watch it. Let's go.
I'll
My
help
daughter.
you edit first episodes as well.
Okay.
We can do it together.
My daughter is very savvy and artsy, and she's really great at Procreate. The reason why I got into painting and NFTs is because I actually minted her art first to show her and explain to her like the blockchain, and she was like embarrassingly like, no, do not use my first painting. And for me, of course, as a mama bear that's like super biased, I'm like, it's an amazing crane. Are you kidding me? So I have an on cyberspace for her with her all of her art, and I mint pieces over time that was like more traditional art. But as she's doing Procreate, she's practicing like how to draw hands and eyes and creating them characters. And so I'm like, go get it. I told her if you want to do a comic book, if you want to do a cartoon, like we can do it. It just takes your imagination. But she has a lot of the pieces already. I think it's just putting it together and putting it out there. And I told her we're anonymous. I gave her her own. She has her own wallet. She has her own ENS, and so we're anonymous together in Web3. So I said that's the most freeing thing. People don't need to know who you are, your age, and all that. You can I think just imagine it and don't have the I guess the social norms around you to be worried about it. Your friends don't even have to know. All of that is, I think, a very freeing mindset to be in. So I'm hoping she does it. But she sees me do art all the time, and then she's always doodling and drawing too. So don't want to pressure her, but definitely with summertime coming, have a little fun with her, just doing some projects to get her work out there.
That's fire, man. I didn't even think about that. Like, you made a lot of great points, even about, first of all, the anonymous aspect of it and giving her that creative freedom to just express herself with the anonymous wallet. I didn't even think about that, but that's a great idea. And the fact of your husband going back, like, we built all of this technology for us to utilize it, and now it's getting to the point where we have to pull back on it and go back to what we once had, just so people can get quote unquote proper education. It's intriguing to sit and think about the possibilities of the different perspectives that come along with these choices. It's just wild, man. I didn't think about the consequences of how these technological quote unquote advantages may turn out to be something that go against us. But I can say this too, right? It brings up a good conversation about, like, are we supposed to evolve the way we even educate at this point, right? Because we had this technological advantage when it comes to AI, and these younger generations will now be experiencing that in their day-to-day life. So I think that's a good debate. Are we supposed to go back to the blue book Scantron answers, or are we supposed to teach this younger generation how to navigate this technology even further than where it is right now? You know what I'm saying? So that's, I think even growing up in my generation, right? And of course, to date myself, Scantron was the shit back then, right? Because everybody else was so used to the paper pen module situation. And then it came out with Scantron, and it was like, oh, this is so efficient. This is so great. Standardized testing. Oh, this is amazing. This works. We can get our grants for our school zones and everything that we need utilizing this technology. And the people who grew up without all of this type of technology thought differently, right? Oh, no, they need to work on their handwriting. They need to use cursive. They need to learn about dinosaurs. They need to, all of these things that no longer even exist, but they grew up with. So they felt like this generation needed to grow up with it as well. So it's all interesting conversations that spawn into other interesting conversations that spawn into different debates for me.
For sure. And I'm like super proud of my husband because he's like one of the cool like professors, if you will. And he isn't a teacher. He's like a guide, a mentor, a coach, really. And so just him even looking at his curriculum and thinking like, oh God, like how am I going to keep them engaged? You know what I mean? And show them the way and learn them and give them the bits and pieces of info to process. I mean, like I'm super bullish on him. That's why I snagged him and married him. But I think as a someone in the teaching and academia world, it's a hard problem for them to like figure out because it's no longer are you going to coast and give them just that assignment to do. Like you really have to figure out how to engage with them. So I think it's going to benefit the students a lot more because they have all these tools, which is fantastic. How they use it, I think maybe I'm hoping like for those that are graduating high school or even college, maybe it's not about the grades, it's about the portfolio. Like what can you demonstrate that you can do and can create versus just the rote learning and the grades on your GPA, you know.
I would say that even with that point, right? Like we learned a lot of things about a lot of subjects that necessarily did not help us in our day-to-day activity. It was just standardized rhetoric that was taught so schools could receive the proper, quote unquote, proper funding that they were looking for in order to continue the school as a school. So that process within itself is just a business model. And it's not really necessarily about educating, it's about government standardized dollars and being able to figure out how to receive that and the best method to do so. And it became a game to do that. We got to get the high score tests in order for us to receive these grants or this money in order for us to grow as a school. And then in the same breath, they do all of that stuff for the financial side of things and underpay the educators. So I I say it's a good debate because I believe all of these technological advancements that are happening now are I don't say better, but more intriguing because people now have at their disposal the ability to learn things that can actually help them grow in the direction that they want to grow in, whatever that may be. You can jump onto Bard or ChatGPT and learn more about financial literacy or real estate or bot development or whatever it is that you may be currently interested in that you couldn't find out about in the current educational system. So I think it's a net positive all the way around. But I was also one of those students in class that was learning about history and calculus and being like, yo, why do I need to learn this? Because how is this going to help me be a better individual every day, and how is it going to help me become a successful individual at the end of the day? Like, me learning all this shit ain't helping me put food on my table at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. I remember I debated with my auntie who was insisting that my cousin go to a certain school. I think it was Cal Poly, because her and her husband were engineers, and they were just so disappointed that the kid was just not going to follow in their footsteps. And I'm just like, why? I mean, we don't need more engineers. I think it's like the time wasted to try to force fit people into the supposed professions and careers that have all these strict requirements. And just like you mentioned, Jay, in terms of like to be able to graduate college, you had all of these like prereqs to fill. And in the end, it was just like, you just had to get through it. It was required, even though it's just going to be, you know, temporary like learning, because you really just didn't have an interest in it. So I hope it
It
changes.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was money making, right? Like, even college now, for real, we seeing, if a lot of people are paying attention to seeing, like, it's not necessarily something that's a necessity. It's just business. At the end of the day, it's about the bottom line, and the bottom line is green dollar, right? Or whatever currency we're going to use at the time. And that's what all of these educational systems have become, because it's not, like you said, you got these prerequisites that you got to complete that have nothing to do with what you're paying to be there for. And you end up sitting there wasting, well, not wasting, but putting a lot of time into situations that don't necessarily pay off towards your greater goal. And then people get these degrees and get out into the real world, quote unquote, and can't find a way to utilize the skills that they were taught when it came to those degrees. So it's just, I think the next stage in the development when it comes to AI and education might be on the path in the right direction, for real. But yeah, no, I could go into this forever, because this is just a point of a conversation that, I'm an advocate for. A lot of people, like we always say, when it comes to CloneX and it comes to this community, everybody's a creator, right? Everybody has a way to create, and we get lost when we turn and get into the system and we become quote unquote adults. We get lost when it comes to utilizing that God-given talent that we've been given to create, or tapping into that childlike inner child that we have that helps us create. We lose that because the world tells us we don't need it, and we turn our back on it. Like you said, Rose, you get to a certain funk if you don't get the paint. That's you fulfilling that inner child. That's what, part of your creative release, that you can channel the energy that's inside of you to do. And a lot of us don't get to tap back into that to create and do that. And it's a shame, because I think us as human beings, that's just part of our human development. If we could, we would grow even quicker to tap into what we were put on this earth to do.
Yeah, and it took me 40 something years to find it again, honestly. Like, again, just last August, I had just, arts and crafts as it comes up. And, but no, this is just like, oh, Jay, you'll like this, because we were talking about the universe and how it listens. And I think this whole week was horrible for me at work, just getting crushed, worked like 13, 14 hours. It was like nonstop. And I think on Wednesday, I just said, this can't be it. I said it out loud to my husband. I'm like, this can't be. No, if I'm so smart, like, what the hell am I doing? And so I'm like, let me look. I'm just going to look, start maybe a search again, because this new job is maybe not the right fit. Lo and behold, I go into LinkedIn, and then somebody hit me up from Web3 saying, hey, you want to collab on something? And I'm like, this is the universe answering.
Wow, that was such an incredible conversation. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And Jamil, I'm so impressed by your dedication to the space. And overall, it's interesting to observe that the child will be aware of such thing, because she heard you saying that, like, I would be really curious to know if children, or like our children, let's say, I just wonder what makes, when I entered this space, like it was obvious for me that this space will exist for them to explore next. And that made me feel like determined to make it a delightful experience for everyone, because it just has to work. Or if we won't figure out how to utilize, I guess, the potential of genuinely connect through technology, I feel like there is a lot. It's basically happened IRL. So the first time I was going through a similar experience, I found the most strength in this sisterhood type of the community, where it would start with an opening circle, with the sharing practice. It was very therapeutical and inspired me like beyond my expectations. Like I would visually sculpt the world that like would resemble the environment we inhabit, but also will be like optically overlaid, um, and like saturated, like even inversed for some time. I'm talking about the motion picture and the editing process. So when it comes to the digital realm, I see in like just a different kind of inspiration and a different result that is somehow, even if I work within the frame of a still picture, it conveys a lot. And I believe the meme culture and the potential of conveying deep messages, complex messages in a very coherent, sharp, sarcastic manner, like that's the future. And sometimes when Kura says that memes are the true currency of this digital world, I agree, and I'm finally starting to understand it. Hey guys, I'm just so happy I'm back. I hope I'm not derailing the conversation. I'm trying to stay on point. Like, I'm doing my best. I'm so inspired and I'm so appreciative you are generously contributing in like shaping the collective consciousness.
No, that's it. And I think that's what it's always about, to be honest. That's what without me getting too deep, that's the whole point of the underlying point of the mission here for me. But no, it's not, you're not taking the conversation off. I think this is a very soft, free floating Friday night bad take conversation. I'm out here with my family, not participating in family activities. So we just keeping it as light as possible. But I think these are definitely great points for us to bring up and discuss. Um, but yeah, man, it's 8 o'clock. Like I said, a super light conversation. I think this will be a good spot for us to end it, so everybody can get to their Friday night and do what you got to do. I appreciate y'all joining me. We're gonna pick it back up on Monday. Shout out to the homies. I appreciate y'all as always. Hope you have a great night and an even better weekend. I might pop up and do something on Saturday. No, I'm not making any promises. You guys enjoy your week.